Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Mobius Front 83. There's been another patch since the last episode, with some real vague changes in it. Enemy AI behaviors improved. What does that mean? Will we see it? Who can even say? They also added a new unit. Apparently now there is an anti-tank mine-laying helicopter, which honestly seems like a great idea. Anything that helps you control tanks a little bit, I think, like, that helps you tilt the balance of the game away from the tanks, I think is a good move. And the helicopters were very lackluster on release. The upgrade to the machine gun definitely helped, and then this is also a cool idea. I don't know if we'll even see those. That might be an earlier in the game thing, because, you know, now we're in Scary Bug World, and who knows. But before we get to any of that stuff, we got this stuff. We got the fun part right here. That's, okay, some amplifiers? I know how the patch notes did say that they had changed some of the signaling on these things, which I guess also uncompleted the tutorial part. There we go. Okay, we don't have a new level. We just had a new first stage of the tutorial. My laptop lied to me. Alright, let's get in here. We got an organism of some kind that is a real problem, and who knows what else is happening. Alright, so it's another one of these where we will be pursued. I mean, obviously, tank and also tank. Do we focus the tanks northward? Because I think I do want to keep them together. Yeah, let's do that. We're not going to have an easy time moving them through anywhere, really. This is weird, right? There's this path through the forest that goes to this one tile that has no other exit. I'm sure there's something in there. There's probably like an artillery unit or something in there. It'll be a real pain to move the tanks around here. I'm thinking maybe we bring them both to this area, despite the fact that this is a really awkward bottleneck, because once we're in here, it'll at least be a little bit easier to move. Yeah, oh wow, okay. Well, that's a situation. You know, honestly, one of these anti-tank jeeps, like, right here, might not be a horrible idea. See, this is the machine gun version of this thing. I mean, let's bring in the tank. Remember, they get to act before we do, so we gotta... Yeah, I guess we can put the tank right there. That seems fine. I am gonna actually do that thing, I think. Man, it like, if this thing had another, like, had a gun on it, even if it was a gun where you couldn't move it after, or you couldn't fire it after moving or something, I think it would help a lot to make this thing feel like a unit you can ever take. For it to just have two rockets that you have to set up before moving, and also it has no way of interacting with infantry, and also, it's such a, like, profoundly bad unit. It's very difficult to imagine it, like, ever being correct to take one of those. It's a tough situation, man. We got 7 points left, and we're probably going to want at least one more APC, because it's the only other thing we can bring in that has armor, and y'all know how I feel about armor. Yeah, let's bring in another APC. Yeah, I guess up here, it'll make more sense to try to move guys through the woods up here. Like, having an APC on the south side doesn't really, I think, doesn't really do a lot for us. We have so many points left and such poor units to buy with them. I mean, let's go ahead and buy a helicopter. Yo! Anti-armor team in their protective suit. This unit is immune to an unknown threat. No, I think we have a pretty good idea of what threat it is. Aside from that, they're just like a normal infantry team, except... Well, they're like my normal infantry teams, except with one less health. That's, you know... That's pretty whatever. I'm not really that concerned about that. We're just gonna double play forward. Wow, okay, good information. Good thing to know. And then... Yeah, rough. Like, I hate this thing, but also it's the only thing we can buy that we can still buy that has any effect on tanks. I guess it's just more infantry is the correct answer to the situation we have remaining here. And then it's like fast-moving machine gun jeep versus actually taking one of these really, really horrible jeeps and just putting it here so that these things have to move at the beginning of the mission. I don't much care for it, and this being a mission where there is absolutely no impetus for the enemies to ever move toward us makes a setup unit feel even worse. You know, at least on the maps where they can recap the control points, there's some chance that they will walk into your stuff. We're just gonna... I don't know what we're gonna do with this, but we're just gonna take this, because the other thing is actually worthless. Alright, let's see how they respond. My guess is those mine-laying helicopters are more of an early game thing. We probably won't see them. We have lots of good units now. But if it breaks up the way those early missions flow a little bit, I think that's probably pretty good. So obviously, we got to be pretty careful with this thing. I'm kind of thinking... How many turns do we have? We have like 10 turns before their reinforcements show up. Here, let's deploy dudes forward here. And here. And this jeep just sits, I guess. And actually, I'm gonna roll you forward as well, and we'll deploy. We'll deploy, guys. We'll deploy up. We don't want to run into that. What do I want to do with the infantry crews on the tanks? I sort of just want them off of there. Like a little bit. I guess let's move this tank forward to here. And this tank forward to here. I'm trying to like move into a position where I can be threatening against these guys, but not like immediately shootable. The other thing I could do, of course, is push the tank up this way. But I think actually I'm going to menace this vehicle with infantry units. So actually I think this is where I'm stopping. Now this tank can just roll past these dudes, potentially. And then you are in like no danger at all. So why don't you move up a little bit? Let's get some more vision out here. I was kind of hoping that that would let me see further into the clearing. I'm a little surprised by how much that didn't happen. This is a little bit more dangerous, but we gotta find out. Okay, so not a ton of interesting information here. The knowledge of this thing's location is pretty valuable. Okay, so let's do this thing to threaten you, do this thing to threaten that guy. I kind of don't think I'm going to disengage the anti-armor teams yet because there's no chance they're going to get to set up in the situation we're seeing right here, right? But I will set these guys out because they might actually be able to move forward and be a threat to something. And then I still don't really want you to move yet. It's not safe to move you forward. I can't rush this thing. The machine gun range on these is 2. So we could dislodge our infantry and just like push these guys. We have a health advantage. And it looks like they actually, for a change, may not have artillery. So I guess it's possible they would have just not fired yet, though. I don't really know what other role infantry on this front could possibly play, so I think I am going to do that. And then you guys just move forward and potentially help out with that next turn. You know, I probably should have backed this guy up and then had this unit move to here so that we could, yeah, I may have been smarter to do that in a way where we could move the infantry back. Do we want to push this thing with an APC, maybe? We know that there's a tank there, and it does have clean line of sight. No, we don't. I don't really want to change a whole lot. So far, it looks like the helicopters are quite safe on this mission. Just looking around, seeing if we can see any forthcoming threats. Is there something in that space? There isn't. Okay. Good to know. I was going to be paranoid about it forever, so... Okay. I would never have felt safe if we hadn't looked. If they don't move something else down here, then we have the advantage in this damage race, even if we don't ever move anything else in. Obviously, it'd be great if you could blow that up. Very cool. Look at this. They've managed to construct a situation where it, like, totally makes sense and is good to push with infantry here. Like, I dig that. I'm into that. I think we can move these guys out safely at this point. I don't know that there's a lot of point in moving these ones out, though. I think we'll hold off on that. Unfortunately, for the moment, we just kind of have to chill. It's like the presence of this thing makes it very difficult to push through this bottleneck. We could rotate the tanks around, but doing so would take such a long time. I actually think it probably is better to just keep putting on infantry pressure and pushing these guys back. Of course, next turn, we can shoot with the infantry here and then roll this tank forward and finish that guy off and be outside of the rank of this, or the range of this thing, and yeah, that might totally be good. So I think we're just going to wait another turn. Do we want to... I don't want to move you. You, however, you are not necessarily providing any valuable vision at the moment. Just, yeah, get down here and see something. So they have units that are immune to the bug swarms. They've got some tech. Alright, we're just going to keep pushing forward, and they're going to keep running, I assume. Setup. No, you are also going to set up, and if he wants to stay put and shoot you, that suits me just fine. I'm actually going to have him just get back in the APC. We will prepare to move through. Be very careful here not to expose any APCs to any tank guns. Let's get stuff potentially in position to do a thing of value. And I will just roll right through here and handle this. Let's get you down there. This is still, yeah, that's still live. But now we have the ability to push around, and we can make some stuff happen over here. I feel better about this. Yeah, if they don't have like free artillery and stuff all the time, it actually is possible for us to use infantry for things. That tank has made what I would consider to be just a baffling move, because now it's trapped forever, right? It can't actually get out of there anymore. Alright, well that was a piece of good luck, but it was also totally unnecessary good luck. Do I want to walk forward into this thing? Because the thing is, we definitely want... He did back up enough, right? Yeah, he sure did. Alright, you stay put. Like, obviously what we want to do here is use our infantry to pressure this. Walking directly forward feels a little not ideal, though. You know what? Let's go ahead and throw you back in the APC. We might get the APC in here and then have dudes load through it. In fact, we'll just put you in there. Yeah, run the APC up here, have people drop out and into the eastern part of the forest. Still reluctant to move these guys forward. You should absolutely get ready, though. And then the question is, do we want to... Because we could double tap this guy. I'm gonna go for it. So you guys have to get off. We want to move the tank to here, so you guys have to get off in a different direction. Okay, good start. The double tap is pretty likely mathematically to work. Obviously it's not certain, and that does make me nervous. But it's pretty likely. Alright, if he wants to roll back forward to take a shot at us, it's going to work out pretty poorly for him in the long run, I think. Okay, I appreciate the enemy like anti-bug teams actually fighting the bugs. That does lend a sort of a feel of verisimilitude. Alright, Alright, so we're gonna continue threatening you. I mean, he's just gonna run at this point. He would be very foolish not to. And we're gonna move these guys around in a slightly different way. Alright, I unfortunately can't quite... Yeah. Can we get you... We can get you over to here. I would like to get to a position where we could roll up on this guy and try to double moving heat round him as well. We'll see if such a position becomes available to us. So I sort of just don't care about these guys. Let's have this helicopter move up here. Alright. It looks like we're really not going to see a lot more resistance than what we're already seeing. Okay, it is just guaranteed 1 damage. I'm not too stressed about that one. Alright, you guys press up. You guys get in the trees. Oh, you know what? I should have moved these guys forward, because my guess is if I walk these guys out into the open, the tank will leap on them. Probably. The tanks are very, very concerned about it. I'm going to try it. Let's see if we can bait him forward into a real bad position. It's a shame there's no way to... Yeah, there's just no way to get the guys in here into a position that matters at all. We will shoot you some. And then... Let's go ahead and do this. We may as well threaten. Both of these units could already shoot one of our guys, so it's not like we're putting ourselves in any extra danger here. And then the question is, do we want to attempt the double heat round now? Because we can do it. I think we wait 1 turn. Let's let the infantry feel this out a little bit. And you, like, run up here and give me some deep vision. What is going on there? This unit is entrenched. Interesting. I wonder if that's a strategic thing or if they fell in a hole. Because it kind of looks like they fell in a hole. It's just, let's just had a small accident is all. Alright, let's see what they go for. You guys up and take care of that. You just get ready to move forward. We'll just disembark them before we move the tank next turn. I'm comfortable with this. Alright, these things are going to have a hell of a time returning to relevance. So, I mean, I think this is pretty straightforward. Oh, that's a real shame. Minimum damage. Who would have thought? That seems like the enemy's a little smarter about not throwing their lives away, which is, again, a real shame. Which unit is getting this kill? It's tough to say. I think we are going to push these guys. Oh no, they've moved to a position where I can't hit them twice anymore. So you really don't want to be here. It's a bummer. I can't quite move forward to a place where I'm free of them. Yeah, I guess those guys just get to live. Nobody is fast enough to get away from this damn thing. I mean, it's gonna keep running, so we're probably fine. It's not like a big deal. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're good. For the moment, you guys should walk forward. Thing is, I'm just not that scared of the reinforcements coming up from behind me. Because it's, like, very likely that we will end up, if we decide we need to fight them, it's very likely that we will be able to do so very easily. Okay, so the remaining control points are... Oh, yeah, let's grab this before I move these tanks out. Okay, now we can double tap that thing, and I think I am going to go for it. Oh, minimum damage is bad news in this situation, because now we need maximum. And we get it. I mean, obviously, it's not like it was going to be a problem. Alright, let's gun you down, because you're annoying. And then just continue to advance on them, right? Like, I see no reason to do anything other than just push these dudes. You guys get back in this thing. We do have to be a little cautious still. But yeah, they're going to spawn like a bunch of tanks behind us, and we're just going to... Honestly, if they get close, we just have our tanks wait. They can't drive into us. If we have stationary positioning, there's basically very much nothing they can do. Very nothing. I might almost say the maximum amount of nothing. Okay, so just dudes in the woods, and another one of those guns, but like, who cares? Yeah, unfortunately for my infantry, from a strategic perspective, they have almost no value. So, sort of motivated to just keep treating them this way. That's probably not a good idea. Okay, we'll move you to here. And then, yeah, you guys just keep trying to catch up. And now that the tanks in the area are down, we are definitely just maximum aggressiveness with these dudes. It doesn't seem like it's going to be all that hard to get this point or this point. Really, all that we have left to deal with is this cluster of two dudes. Can you get vision of that, though? Just make sure I'm not being silly. Okay, yeah, an improvised gun truck. Not exactly terrifying. That thing doesn't even have any armor on it. Alright, this is just a gun helicopter? Yeah, so not really meaningfully a danger. So how much movement do these things have, too? Okay, that's definitely a thing to be worried about. We could try to bring the tanks through down here. I like this angle because it means we can approach to like here and then move up around the thing and shoot out the anti-tank weapon in a single turn, and I think that's the plan. Because otherwise, that thing's going to be a huge problem, right? If we approach from down here, its range and line of sight is going to make it very difficult to fight this thing, but if we fight them in the reverse order, things are going to work out much more cleanly. And the Jeep... I don't know, man. I don't know if the Jeep... Is the Jeep wants to, like, be in a somewhat hidden position so that when it rolls out and shoots the helicopter, it's a surprise? We don't really want that helicopter to know where I'm at. But I think I should be hidden from it here, so hopefully it'll just drive into range. Okay, so they're really bringing in the tanks, like a larger number of tanks than you would think they'd be able to afford. These stupid 2-point half tanks are really powerful. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, you need to not be in this position anymore, like really soon. All right. I'm actually going to move these guys back so that they're more of a threat to the enemy tanks. Not too worried about the helicopters. Yeah, I guess let's just nuke the thing. So we're going to have these enemy tanks rolling up from behind. Let's move one of the helicopters back to try to get better vision of the situation for next turn. I don't really know what I'm going to do with you yet. I do not feel like we're going to be able to just push forward and ignore this. We probably do need to stop and turn around and actually take these things out. Okay. Yeah, we just don't have the movement necessary to do this the other way. So press you from a couple of sides. Let's put you out here. I mean, we're probably just going to straight up lose a tank here, and I don't know if there's a lot we can do about it. Aside from make it so that if they cost us a tank, we take one of their things back very easily with infantry. And I think I'm going to actually run this thing out here. Like, let's give them some other stuff to shoot at and hope that they make some real bad decisions. You can do that. You can do this. All right, we don't have to put up with any more helicopter shenanigans. And then what do I want to do with these dudes? I guess just move. They're not going to be able to get back here in time for it to matter at all. All right, so pretty good odds on the loss of this tank. Okay, that worked. Kept that guy stationary. Wow, we got very lucky there. Alright, can you... Yes. Let's start with this. Let's see how this roll goes. So unfortunately, that's actually really awkward. Here, you definitely set up... Yeah, that's really awkward because we don't have a guaranteed kill on that thing with this tank. We can't know for sure that we'll actually get it. What we can do is hammer it with small machine gun fire and maybe see if we can get lucky a couple of times in a row. But even the best outcome there doesn't actually kill the thing. Well, no, that's not true. These both have a maximum damage of 2. Okay, maybe we get super lucky. We didn't. In fact, they both rolled minimum. Well, I guess I'm going to just take this one. If that had rolled minimum damage, it would have been very bad. I think feeding this thing an APC to keep it from moving forward so that we could wall it was pretty good. Alright, I'm not 100% sure how the targeting works on these guys. I'm wondering if we just move everything else out of range, will it necessarily go after the only thing that it can reach? I guess the thing is, it moves after they do, right? So even if that were the case, they would just move their tank away from it. Yeah, let's just move away. We don't have to leave anybody within 2 spaces of it, so let's just not. Oh, right, that's bad. Okay, well, you know what? Go ahead and take the shot. You're never gonna get a chance to shoot at anything else, so why not? Alright, we're gonna keep menacing this tank with these guys, but honestly, they'll probably hold him off for quite some time. It takes a long time for a tank to chew through infantry. Alright, so we're not allowed to enter that. Ah, he just ignored us in a way that's a very bad idea unless you know for sure you're going to roll that maximum damage. In which case, it's fine. So... It doesn't make any sense to do a move and setup. It's just like, it's so unlikely that we would ever get to actually take the shot. I think we have to pressure him like this. If he stands and shoots and takes the reasonable chance of getting the kill, then he gets blown up by other dudes, hopefully. Hopefully we can get a little bit lucky there. And I'm gonna roll you back. Like, there's absolutely no reason for us to move forward while this thing is alive, right? He just goes for the shot. Not, I think, the smart money. Okay, so can run up here and do this. You just fly back over here because you're not accomplishing anything back there anymore. So now we have to navigate this situation with fewer bodies, but this anti-armor team could potentially get in a spot to do something of meaning. Yeah, having lost one of the only 2 tanks we were allowed to bring definitely hurts. That makes this a lot crappier. We actually are just gonna, at this point, we have no time pressure at all, so we actually are just gonna slow roll this a little bit. Move the tank up to there, put the guys down here, set them up. This thing can't move out of the way, so... Yep. And in fact, they're not gonna do any moving at all. You guys all just keep moving forward. I guess I could have the APC go back and pick them up. That's probably smart. I was going to be like, yeah, and then we'll cap this point real fast, but like, who cares? Who cares about the cap speed? We definitely have an interesting question about whether or not this thing's going to drive forward on us. Oh, right, there's dudes in the... Never mind, this strategy doesn't even work. We're just going to have to rush them and hope that it works, I guess. That sucks. But yeah, that is actually the case. We can potentially... Boy, what can we do? Nothing. Nothing, really. Yeah, we're just gonna have to roll the dice and get real lucky. Okay, wow, they did get aggressive. I literally can't kill him with this shot, and then he's got a 2 to 6 against my 5 health, which, you know, obviously is pretty bad. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, actually. Okay. So we know that those trees are not safe to move into. They have those guys in there who are kind of gently cheats. So we get a bridge across a couple of units simultaneously, like move a unit into here and here at the same time. Take control of that space. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of sitting around here. Weird move. So you guys actually want to move down there while you guys get over here. And then you need to get out of the way so we can drop dudes off there. Okay, yeah, we'll move in a bunch of guys pretty much simultaneously. It seems like they're content to just let me do whatever I want, so... Unfortunately, we can't solve all of our problems at once, but we do get aggressive. And then if we can take control of this part of the forest, it gives us a little bit better ability to push this, but honestly, it's still not good. Interesting move. Not sure I understand that. Alright, please don't minimum damage. Thank you. So, how do we want to prep for this? Because it's about to be the turn where we have to attack, right? Okay, they're just going to let me kill this guy. Well, I appreciate that. Do wish we still had our mortar crew. So you have 1 damage, but at range 2. That's awkward, because it means we're not going to be able to get people very close. Alright, let's handle this. There's no sense in moving you forward yet. Yeah, there's not a lot of sense in doing much of anything. Please just... Oh, I was really hoping these guys would drive forward for the quick kill. Alright, actually, let's move you back and you forward so that the unit in this space is one that has 2 health. I cannot tell what the hell they're doing. Alright. So we're going to do this, because this is going to force this guy to back up instead of shooting, and then we're going to have infantry units push forward on this dude, and we're going to have to get a little bit lucky. There's not really any two ways about that. The APC... I'm thinking about rolling the APC forward and just dropping smoke, and probably they won't even bother to shoot at me. But maybe. Maybe they'll choose to do that instead of doing a smart thing. You know what, we'll do that on the turn that we also move the tank in, just to give them the opportunity to screw up. Which is next turn, I'm pretty sure. Okay, back up. That's the right... Yeah, they will shoot him. And then we do this, and now their situation's a little bit more complicated. You may as well go grab that this turn, because you're not going to be able to be like a threat or anything. Okay, hey, that was pretty good. Alright, let's hope that they don't roll maximum damage on their counterfire, and... or that they choose to attack the wrong target. That would also be fine. Okay, pretty good news for me. And if they had rolled this tank forward, then we might still be in trouble here. But as things are, I think we're in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna... just roll up on this thing. I'm trying to make it so that it can't roll forward to attack the tank, because we want to get first shot in this little duel over here. My guess is it'll just back off this way and shoot those guys, which is... Oh, interesting. Okay, well, so he gave me the control point, which I appreciate. And he left himself in range to maybe, fingers crossed, let us get 2 damage here. Awesome. Excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. So that's a win. They no longer have any way of stopping us from just tanking through the rest of the control points. Rest of the control point, singular. That got a little ugly. That could have gone badly, potentially. Interesting. Okay, well then I just win. I was gonna fight you for it, but also this is fine. Those guys just want to live. They don't care about control points.
Let's keep up the speed, Trooper.
My foot's all the way down, sir.
Well, then this thing is a piece of shit.
No argument there, sir.
We did throw it out of a helicopter, to be fair.
Don't worry about Danny. Likely he's gone by now.
I know, sir.
Yep. This place can go fuck itself. Fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck! Don't swear, Trooper. It's unbecoming.
Yes, sir.
Invasive organism removal is the act of eliminating ISRO in important areas, preventing them from spreading. It's much easier to prevent a spread early than to try to contain it after it has gained a foothold. Boy, ain't that the truth. Must be performed at MOPP level 4. Reinforced protective equipment is required to prevent ballistic penetration of swarming ISRO and reduce contact with their substances or vaporized particles. Okay. Obviously not information that's relevant to us, but it's good to know exactly what their feeling is about the situation that they're in. Alright, so another one of these. Very, very similar type of mission. I'm assuming we're going to see a bunch of these. Let's deploy a helicopter first. How about that? Wouldn't that be the smart guy play? Okay, so they got themselves a towed howitzer, which, until we can eliminate it, definitely reduces the value of infantry somewhat. Let's go ahead and roll another helicopter forward to here. Okay, so they got ATGMs already set up in a couple of positions that are going to make our lives a little bit more complicated. Where do we want to push with the tanks? Obviously, anywhere that we can get kind of close to these things before they can see us, we can just wipe them out trivially by rolling the tanks up next to them and shooting them. They got an APC of their own, which is very familiar. This actually doesn't look like it's going to be that hard to get a hold of. Mortar teams have 4 range, so we could roll one of those mortar jeeps up to here, have the mortar team walk through to this space, but obviously they have to be protected. And of course, a low health fancy weapons team is going to be meaningless until we've removed the howitzer, because they're just gonna get 100% murdered. So I think I'm going to push tanks north up here. Okay, we'll shoot these things down. That's probably a thing that's good to do while we're still in relative safety. And then I'm going to try to establish infantry control down here. And I think it's just like another APC. And honestly, it might be best for it to be like... Yeah, we might want to push some infantry like forward into these trees. And then which of the jeeps? This thing is best at helping us kill those guys, so I think that's the entirety of the decision being made right there. The one that can move and shoot is the powerful one. I'm not sure if move and shoot is more important than armor, or if it's just as important as armor, but it's definitely very important. Alright, you gotta disengage, because we have to be able to fire the tanks. Alright, you should back up so that we can... It's only 2 movement, right? Yeah. Should back up so I can do this. Alright. Very good news indeed. So where do these guys have vision to? All the way out to there? I think then we gotta just deploy the normal infantry here. And then this guy will follow up. Like, these two move forward so that they can kill you, and then... Unfortunately, like I said, we're gonna lose infantry to howitzer damage, and there's just nothing we can do about it, sadly. Let's roll you guys back just so you're not in range of that helicopter. Okay. Where can you see to? Oh, you can see that. Again, a little bit of inconsistency with how lines of sight are drawn across diagonals. It's fine. So we'll run the APC up to here, and we'll move guys very slowly forward. We'll just keep the tanks back to shred the reinforcements as they come in. Because we don't really have a lot of choices on this one. It's fine. We've proven that we can just go slow, and it's okay. As long as we're being smart. Alright, here's the part where the howitzer becomes relevant, because now they actually have line of sight to these dudes. Okay, I can't even try to make it across here, that's a shame. This is fine, right? I mean, it would be better to deploy them here and here, and then have them try to run across the gap. But we could go here, deploy like the mortar team there, and the 2 infantry guys. Boy, that's rough. It really is. It's way better to unload in this space. Yeah, the degree of it is actually like very bad. It's very unfortunate how true that is. All right. You guys get deployed forward this way. What do I want to do with you now that you've deployed your guys? Kinda don't really have a play. Yeah, and I don't want to move the helicopter any further forward. I mean, spotters are spotting. Yeah, this is going to be costly. Then the fact that this gun exists is a real bummer. Oh, hey. That's good news. Yeah, that's a huge error on their part. You should never move those guys once they're set up. Gonna make my life real easy. Yeah, and all this stuff just kind of groups up over here, and then we do some waiting, and you're not gonna move, so I guess you may as well set up. Hey, look at you rolling your maximum damage. What a surprise. Okay, obviously that has to happen. This has to happen. My guess is these guys are never going to be useful for the thing they're actually for, so we may as well just move them forward as pressure. I am no longer afraid of this guy shooting me. Okay, laser weapons and... alright. So, we know that this thing is just going to kill these guys before they have a chance to do anything at all. Because it's going to shoot them once, then they're going to set up, then it's going to shoot them again. But that does mean that it's tied up for 2 turns. So we have a little bit of approach time available. Where do I want... let's embark you guys. That's just going to be a bridge, obviously. The question is, do we even want to deploy the anti-tank team here? And I think this is no. Alright, so we have a bunch of guys pushing that way next turn, and you really should not move yet. Yep, alright. Interesting. Definitely not the way I thought they were going to target. Because that means that they lose the mortar, the howitzer next turn, unless they do something pretty drastic. Which is real bad for them. They're somewhat reliant on that to keep my infantry even potentially at bay. You may as well just, yeah, get that guy out of there. And we don't want to move these guys forward just yet, but we want them... let's see. Let's back you up. I want this tank here. And yeah, we're just going to continue waiting on the approach over there. So you guys get that, and... I think I'm actually just going to finish them. And then next turn we'll grab this thing. And this APC is potentially dead. Not that it has to be, but I'm not going to try to save it. We'll use it to cap the point, and then that's good enough. Interesting. That must have been targeted here, right? That was random walk. They missed because of bad luck, not because of their aim. All right, keep getting aggressive. At some point, they're gonna start reacting to this, or they're gonna let me kill their stuff. Either way is fine. So, out of curiosity, what awaits up ahead? Well, that's not great. It looks like it's mostly just guns. It's just the same stuff over and over again. Oh yeah, I gotta actually, like, grab this point real fast. Okay. So they are determined not to do the smart thing. They have strong feelings about this. I'm very curious to see if they're going to walk anything up into the range of the anti-tank weapon. It is at least theoretically possible. You cannot shoot air units. Yeah, this is fine. Just back away from that thing. I'm kind of curious if this will just sit. Like, will they actually try to kill my APC in exchange for their APC? Because I'll take it. Let's have you guys be the one who does this so that you can move forward. Fire and fire. And I'm actually just going to have you walk up so that we're more of a threat. You guys can make for the control point. And now... We have something of an approach. Still got to be a little careful. Yeah, okay. Aha, now I'm the one who gets to roll the die over and over again. How do we want to do this? What's the right way to order this? Because obviously I want to have a lot of dudes moving across. We want it to be clear to this guy that his stuff is not going well. I guess... Yeah, we just got to run through the open if we want to be able to threaten this guy with infantry. And then there's no reason not to move you guys. They're going to just move infantry into our anti-tank weapon. So there's no reason not to move it. And it's not accomplishing anything in its current position anyway. We'll just load it onto an APC. You can't quite... Oh yeah, sorry. With this gun, you only have this much range. Alright, that's fine. We can just chill. They're going to get their reinforcements in here in a second, and we are in a position where we are totally ready to shoot at their reinforcements, while continuing to move forward to threaten these guys over here with infantry. And I presume if we just run you forward at this point, it's very obvious that these guys just shoot, right? We're not creating any pressure. So the big question is, do we move the tanks back? I think the answer is yes. I think we want the tanks to be in a position where they are potentially a threat to deploy stationary heat rounds, right? We'll just chase these guys out of this area slowly. And I'm going to move this. This helicopter's not really giving us a lot of value back here. Let's keep an eye on what reinforcements are spawning behind us. Okay, that's not really a very good blind in my opinion. Ooh, big helicopters. Okay, well, it's certainly interesting. You have to move so that these guys can go to here. Alright, well, that whole thing's going to start working out for us. We have pretty clean lines of fire into that area, so I don't know that I want to move you guys necessarily. Where do we want these dudes to end up? I actually think I'm going to back the Jeep up, and we're going to move them to here. And then, unfortunately, we actually don't have a very good way of attacking those helicopters. We kind of just have to let them do what they want to do. Which, obviously, I'm not a huge fan of. Let's see, if a couple of these guys want to run the wrong way to chase this helicopter, I'm fine with it. Do we want to smoke? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Okay, let's bring this guy back. We can set up the anti-tank team in one of these spaces down here. Let's see what they do. Yep, no big surprise there. But they won't be able to repeat that. Interesting. Being very aggressive down here where it doesn't make any sense for them to be aggressive. Alright, they cannot stop me from capping the point. This becomes a problem for them. So it's hard to, at this point, to actually know what the hell their plan is down here. Yeah. Real weird moves. So they can prevent me from doing 2 damage to this guy next turn, right? But if the helicopters help out, they can get rid of this guy. But it would be nice to be in a position where the Jeep is We're not going to be able to. It's such an open field. I'm not actually going to be able to threaten him. And if they're going to move all of the vehicles down this way, I don't really know what to do with this. I'm going to continue on my plan of setting him up over here, and then at least they'll feel unsafe moving that way. I don't really know what else I want to do here. I mean, obviously we want the APCs in position where their guns are a threat to the helicopters, but it's tough. It's tough to know what the enemy's going to do, and that makes it tough to know what I need to do. We do not have good estimation abilities in this situation. Okay. I'm going to get aggressive on the tanks. Probably not actually that good of an idea for them. Right, this is precisely why we moved all these units back in the first place. Alright, so they just gave up their helicopters for no reason. They didn't stop me from doing this, which means they've completely lost control of the northern half of the map. You're just gonna press forward. I mean, I guess you may as well now, too. We knew that anti-tank team was there earlier, but I forgot. So, you know, that's not ideal. This is a tricky problem. I guess they don't actually know about us, do they? About these guys. Maybe the right play is just to set up right here. It's certainly not to walk forward. Let's see how they handle this. And then there's no place where I can move to where I have a shot on the Jeep without giving the tank a shot on me. So I think I just chill here. But yeah, them just giving up those helicopters for free is, that's the thing. They're not going to... A cost they are not going to be able to unpay. A bell they are not going to be able to unring. Man just rolled up on me and hit that max damage. Alright, well, I'm glad I set up. So let's... Yeah, I guess this is the most important thing. Of course, roll minimum damage. Hey, look at that. You actually did get to fire your second shot. It's kind of a miracle. And now, as far as we're aware, they don't really have a lot of good answers to tanks left anymore, do they? See, you are 1 to 2 damage. So I think I actually am just going to roll up into range here. Oh, no, never mind. This thing can never damage a tank. We don't need to expose stuff at all. The tank's got it under control. Right, so you do that. You just move through here. Alright, that's mostly what I was looking for, is a little bit of vision. I could move you away, but honestly, like, what is the utility of that play in the long run? Okay. Clean up the remainder of the enemy vehicles coming up from behind us, and then we'll tank walk through the rest of the mission. Now, unfortunately, one of those tanks is in a position where if something rolls 1 point of real damage against it, it does lose its ability to move. But the good news is, I don't know that they have anything left that can roll a point of damage against it. Man, come on. You guys couldn't try a little harder than that? Boy, how do we want to handle this? So we have lots of good vision here. I guess we can move this guy back up. You probably never get to do anything meaningful again, and one of you has to stay put and finish this guy off, which is, like, incredibly annoying. Man, damage rolls. Alright, so there's really just not a lot of terrifying stuff left. But also, at the same time, a lot of our units are kind of bad and worthless. This is why they gotta put a limit on the number of tanks you're allowed to have. Because otherwise we would have solved this problem by having 3 tanks, which I think is all it would have taken. I'm gonna stay right where I am on this front. You are the Jeep Hunter. Tanks have more important things to be doing. So we do still have one anti-tank team left, and they're in a space that doesn't matter a huge amount. Oh no, never mind. They have clear line of sight to one of the control points. I was thinking those two are accessible without even dealing with those guys. But yeah, we are going to have to do something about that. Well, I guess let's get some more units in a position where they could potentially do something about that. This helicopter is accomplishing nothing for us right now, but it's also at 1 health. So we gotta be a little careful. Okay, they have a real situation going on over here, which will maybe help us out. The good news with these guys is if we can loop around, we actually can hit them from a side where we'll be able to just run them down with the tanks without them being able to really do anything about it. Ah, bummer. Well, let's keep chasing them off. I don't think they'll stand and shoot back. Oh, they could damage the Jeep. Alright, I'm gonna have the Jeep back off, actually, because we can just give this space over to the APC, which is in a lot less danger. And then you guys, it's actually really dangerous for you to get out of the woods, so I guess just hang out. I really need my tanks to roll above 1 damage per turn. Alright, that's under control. You're just going to get on the APC next turn. Okay, so where do these guys actually have vision to? They can't see these spaces. They can see those two, though. Alright, we press the anti-tank team over here. These guys are just dead. These guys just cannot participate in the video game anymore. So the anti-tank team down there can hit this thing, but not this space, I think. And we can also wrap around here. I think we do move one of the tanks through here. You guys stay put for a second. You guys also stay put for a second. It is probably the case that the enemy reinforcements are supposed to motivate you to finish the mission quickly and not to do the thing that we are doing. Well, listen, you know, it works. You can't argue with the it works part. So you're just going to run away. I'm actually going to press this guy. My guess is he'll still just run, but if he decides he wants to stay and take this dude down, at least he'll pay for it. Because I'd rather he die, and this guy's functionally useless. Yeah, let's move to here and just threaten a little bit. Mostly for long-term positioning purposes. So you have range such that I cannot leave this thing in place anymore. You're in kind of an awkward spot. Do this. So we want to move this tank up to here. And we can kind of ignore this whole cluster of stuff. I mean, of course, I could just sacrifice the Jeep to take this space, and then we could ignore this anti-tank team from there. I can't believe these guys actually let me do this. They definitely should have run. Alright, so that's fun. You're in a lot of trouble there. Yeah, honestly, I might do that Jeep sacrifice, because I don't know that this Jeep is going to have a lot of value outside of shooting this team. And we still need to take this over, too. Maybe it's best we just do this the slow way. You guys may as well embark as well, and then... yeah, you just gotta back up. Kind of curious, is there anything else to worry about back here? Okay, we got a truck. We haven't seen this point yet, have we? I love it when you get a little bit of information out of a unit that has extremely low remaining health. Like an infantry unit that only has 1 health left, obviously, is not useful for combat anymore because it will die as soon as it tries to move adjacent to something. But if it can just, like, if we can get a block like that, I always feel really good. It feels like we traded a thing that was worth nothing for a thing that was worth anything at all. Alright, we can blitz that guy in a turn or two. This feels pretty over. But boy, they sure are going to drag it out. What is your deal? You're just the laser guy? You know... I think we can probably just get him to back up. We do have to watch out for these dudes a little bit. Okay, so right now we have the ability to work these guys out next turn, which I am cool with, and you should just keep rolling forward. So yeah, we'll come around here like the real slow and safe way. I did just basically feed that Jeep to the anti-tank team, because I miscounted spaces in my head, but it's fine. We removed an anti-vehicle team. We got them to waste a turn from an APC, which I guess is like a resource with non-zero value. And then this is 100% free, because they literally can't damage us. Where do we want to move you around to? Because we do have to be a little bit careful about these things. They can move into trees and stuff. And if we want to deploy these infantry units in a way that actually helps, it'd be at least a little bit thoughtful here. You know what? You guys get out so that you guys can get in. Yeah. How do we want to approach this? I guess I want to try to get into a position where somebody needs to be able to get to this space and take that shot, right? These things shoot for 1 to 2? Yeah, so I want to set you to here. Okay, next turn we'll be able to swarm that guy. That's a pretty smart move, actually. That's a pretty good way of preventing the swarm attack. Alright, and then... we already have one vehicle in range of these guys, so I'm just going to push them. They can't kill both the APCs. Or, in fact, any of them. Alright, and that is the mission. Also, we didn't actually have to get the kill, even. It was the mission either way.
Oh, god damn it! Why does everything here stink to high heaven?
Don't know, sir.
Smells like Uncle Petey's rotten teeth. May you rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, he tried to talk to us sometimes. It's like we was being blasted with swamp gas. Ugh.
Sir, Cav Scouts are the eyes and ears of the army, right? Nobody said anything about the nose.
That's a good point, Trooper. Damn good point.
Okay, you are hereby ordered to not smell anything. Another effective removal technique employs the M67 90mm recoilless rifle with high explosive anti-tank shells. Of course, the heat gun, the only gun in the game that matters. It turns out it's good against this problem too. Probability of a first round kill against a stationary fully exposed target is over 50%. Engaging from an elevated position may reduce residual ground contamination from ISRO fluid. Remember to clear the back blast area before firing. This is known as preventing an own goal. After the operation is complete, avoid the area for 72 hours. Yeah, it's bad here, man. Do we have a long-term plan for how us being over here helps at all? I mean, I guess it's not my place to know, but I sure hope that somebody has a long-term plan here. Alright, well, I think that is probably a pretty good place to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I know I am plodding through this, but we're gonna get there. I don't know exactly how many missions are in Chapter 3. Apparently, it could be longer than 10, so I don't know. We got a few episodes left to go. I'm still hoping they're gonna drop like a bunch of plot on us at some point here. At the very least, we gotta resolve all this, right? Come back next time tomorrow to see the next step in that, fingers crossed. And we'll see you then.